Okay, so I've decided to make a third and final part to my, I guess you could say, now trilogy of videos pertaining to this idea, and I swear this will be the last time. Basically, for those who don't know, for the past I've done two videos talking about this because it's such a cool idea, and it'll never happen, and I can't, this thing just can't escape my brain, of an idea I had of, you know how in Disneyland in California, Disney World, or Disneyland, I always get the two mixed up, but the one in California, not California Adventure, but the other one, the original one, they have every holiday season, they have Nightmare Before Christmas done up at the Haunted Mansion, and in there, it's done for a few months, and it goes back, but they don't have that in Orlando, so I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if for like a few months, say November through January, or I guess you could say maybe, September through, I guess you could say early January, so maybe 3-4 months at tops, they do up the Haunted Mansion, but not as with Nightmare Before Christmas characters, but instead Gravity Falls. Like, let's say, Gravity Falls characters found their way into the Haunted Mansion. That makes so much freaking sense, doesn't it? Yeah. And again, I've done like 2 videos already, and I swear this will be the last one. So yeah, maybe I'll do a 4th one, or maybe I'll do something else. I don't know. But yeah, this just seems like a cool idea, and I've done 2 of them. The first one was more like me just spewing ideas. The second one's a little more coherent. This time around, the third and final time, hopefully I can be coherent enough of what I'd like to see in the ride to be done. And even though, this will probably never frickin' happen in the history of ever. But yeah, this is how I would do a Gravity Falls Haunted Mansion type ride. So yeah, I would have it that when you enter, when you're outside the line for the mansion, the mansion itself is like it's done up in a way that you see like littered pieces of Gravity Falls memorabilia everywhere. Let's say Grunkle Stan's car is like parked right outside the Haunted Mansion instead of the it's parked right next to the invisible. What's the name? The invisible carriage. With the invisible horse and the carriage. You see Grunkle Stan's car parked right next to it, or even better, like or it's like a golf cart, or even the Mystery Shack tram. That it says free tours around Haunted Mansion around it. And it says like $150 a piece or whatever. Like other things you see around outside of the Haunted Mansion, like maybe you see like I don't know what else you could have, like the gnomes from Gravity Falls, like statues of the gnomes in around the little garden in the Haunted Mansion. You could have like an image of Bill that has like a statue of Bill, or an animatronic statue that has like a moving eye that follows you outside, something like that nature. You go into it, you go into the initial part of the mansion, and you see, where you see the portrait of Edward Gracie, and it's melting away into a corpse. I would have it that instead of you see the melting corpse, you see a recording from Dipper and Mabel, and it's that, Dipper talking about, I'm glad you guys have made it, this was, I found this in my special journal, and this is going to prove once for all that ghosts are real, and you have, Seuss holding the camera, and you hear him in the background, and I'd even have Mabel there, and I would have her, like, humming or whistling the Pirates of the Caribbean theme, because they're at Disney World, or some other Disney song, like she'd probably be whistling It's a Small World, like Dipper's trying to talk, and then you hear Mabel right next to it whistling It's a Small World, or singing It's a Small World while she's carrying Waddles, and he looks over, he's like, really, you have to do that right here? Yeah. Also, outside of where you go, when you're about to enter the mansion, I would, when you see all those gravestones, I would have it where that's where I put the gnomes. Like, they're, like, skulking around the graveyard, or something else of that nature from the show. Anyway, so when you get into the stretching room, I would have it where the portraits of each character, the portraits where we see what happened to the other people who lived at the mansion, how they died. I would have it that it's a Gravity Falls version of them. Like I would have maybe Pacifica sitting on top of the gravestone one. Who would be another one? Maybe Robbie, he's doing the tightrope, but he's like, oh, this thing is going to kill me, and you've got the pterodactyl from Land Before Swine under him with his mouth open. And for the sinking pit, I would have Dan and Wendy's three other brothers, like they're all trying to get out of the sinking sand, or something of that nature. So it would continue on. So Dipper, you can continue to hear Dipper's voice throughout the entire thing, and then suddenly it cuts to Bill. Bill suddenly cuts in, and he's like, "Oh, so you guys want to know if ghosts are real, huh? Well, the best way to find out is my way." And then, boom! You look up. Instead of seeing the hanging skeleton, you see Bill, like a hologram image of Bill looking down on you. Is like, "Welcome," or welcome to the haunted mansion, or something to that extent. And then you go in, and when you're about to take the black carriage ride through the haunted mansion, I would have it that there's again Gravity Falls memorabilia like Dipper's book or Grunkle Stan's cane or some of Ford's or something of Ford's inventions, something of that nature. Like you see a bunch of the stuff you see at the Mystery Shack. Like Grunkle Stan has just decided to just move into the haunted mansion. So when you get into the black carriage, you get into the ride itself. You just kind of you enter in the black carriage ride, and instead of hearing the ghost host, I would have it that either be I would actually have it that it's Dipper and Mabel guiding you through the mansion as they're trying to get you away from Bill throughout the ride, and they're trying to give you a tour, trying to get you out of the mansion the best way possible and away from Bill, who has taken over the haunted mansion, and all the ghosts are now working for him. I don't think I would mess with the changing portraits where you see you see one image and then it fades to another. I don't think I would mess with that at all. I don't know what you could do with that. But yeah, moving on to the endless hallway, I would have an image of Bill looking there, and he's looking back at you, and then it zaps, then he just fades away and comes back. And yeah, so moving through that, we have the coffin with the guy trying to let me out of here, come on. So what I would do is have Wendy there with her axe in her hand, her father's axe in her hand, and she's like, all right, like an animatronic of Wendy, all right, come on, I know you're going to pop out of there, come on, I'm ready for you. Yeah. So going further through the rooms, the endless hall, the hallway of the doors where you hear the doors being knocked on, the doorknobs being rattled. I would have it instead of ghosts there. You're hearing the other characters from Gravity Falls, trying to, they're trapped in those rooms. They're banging and trying to get out. So so you could have Robbie, Gideon, Pacifica, all those other characters, Durlin and Blubs, Dan, and Manly Dan, all those characters in there. They're the ones locked in those rooms, and you hear them banging on the doors trying to get out. So moving through that, we have Madame Leota's room, Madame Leota's room would have Stan there, and rather than she's trying to do an incantation to summon spirits, she's more or less scolding Stan as she's throwing him around the room. And yeah, I would have an animatronic of Stan, he's being picked up in the air, and he's like, put me down, I wasn't trying to steal stuff. Well, I was, but that's beside the point. And she's putting a hex on him, and you're just looking at her as all the stuff is being lifted and thrown about through the room. You have Stan there being thrown around. So moving into the gallery, the dining hall with the dancing ghosts, I would have a animatronic of Zeus down there. Either he would be in the. He would be either be at the table. Yeah, there you go. He would be either be at the table with all the ghosts trying to eat the food there, or he would be completely terrified of what he's looking at. Like, he's somewhere in the corner, and he's, like, terrified beyond all rational thought. So moving on into the attic, I would have Ford there, and I would have Ford trying to, like, he's trying to get you out. He's like, come on, Bill's right behind us, you know, this way out, and maybe have him, like, running from the hat, like, him scared of the Hatbox Ghost or the Bride. Something to that nature, maybe. So then you get into the graveyard. You know, then we get into the graveyard, and the first person you see is not the gravekeeper and the dog. I would have animatronic of Mabel and Waddles there to greet you, like, hey, welcome to the party, hi. Like, she's just waving at you, and Waddles is right there next to him. And then you go further down in there, and you have other Gravity Falls characters, Dipper, Mabel, Wendy, Zeus, and Stan, and Ford. You have them all, well, you'd see Mabel first, but then the other characters from the show would be down there, and they're partying on with the ghosts. Like, you have the other animatronics there, of each character there, and they're just having a ball with the other ghosts. Like, you have Stan, I would actually have it, because there is a pair of dueling ghosts out there, and I would have it that one of them shoots, and, like, that, like, Stan's fez gets shot off, maybe something like that. So, throughout that, I even have the animatronic of Zeus, and I have the perfect place to place him. I would have the Zeus animatronic, where he would be sitting with the... he'd be sitting with the talking skeleton. He'd be talking with the singing headstones. Yeah, he'd be singing with the singing busts or headstones or whatever, and he would be singing Grim Grinning Ghosts with the headstones. So he'd be like, Grim Grinning Ghosts, come out to socialize, God. Yeah. So yeah, Zeus would be singing with them. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. So at the end of the I don't know where I'd put the other characters, like, in the graveyard. Maybe you guys can think of something of that nature. But at the end of the ride, I would have it that instead of you see the hitchhiker ghosts, you see Bill there, and he's just doling out all the other, all of his other friends from his dimension, and he's handing the ghosts to you. He's handing them to you. So instead of seeing the hitchhiker ghosts, you see, like, a monster from from his dimension, and it follows you home. And maybe at the end of it have, I don't know. Actually, maybe I would have Quentin Tremblay, or no, Old Man McGucket would be at the end going, hurry back, y'all. I'm going to Grand Thunder Railroad after this. Oh, man, that would be great. Yeah, have Old Man McGucket being the one telling you to hurry back. Or don't. It's cool. Oh, that'd be perfect. But yeah, that, I wouldn't necessarily, make things too drastic of a change. Only in, like, a certain few places. It wouldn't be like with the Nightmare Before Christmas, with the Haunted Holidays idea, where they completely changed the graveyard scene through a majority of it, like have the spiral mount, the little spiral hill, and the singing pumpkins in a few other places. But yeah, there would be some major changes, but on a whole, it wouldn't be like, you're going to look at Nightmare Before Christmas. No, you're going to see Gravity Falls in the Haunted Mansion, and now they're hanging out, and it's a fun time. Really keep the essence of Haunted Mansion. Because again, I would only do this for, like, as a holiday thing. Like, yeah, only do it for a few months and then, move on. That kind of thing. Because, again, the Haunted Mansion is freaking fantastic, and I think even it would be like a Christmas everyday thing where you'd be kind of sick of it real quick, wouldn't you? But yeah, that's kind of it, really. That's kind of the idea I had for all this. So, yeah. So you guys tell me, what do you all think? And again, this will be hopefully the final part. Anyway, so you guys tell me, what do you guys think? How do you think a Gravity Falls Haunted Mansion ride would be? What would you put in it? What characters would you have? And what little Easter eggs and little moves, little things would you have throughout the ride? And how would you? What kind of style would? Things were you? Tongue tied. Where would you put the characters in each room? just comment below, let me know. And apparently, yeah, we're back to commenting. The comment section has apparently been fixed, I hope. SXE Blues told me his was fixed, so hopefully mine's fixed as well. So hopefully you guys can just comment below, let me know. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.